Dude, I'm curious what a live stream would be like if someone just literally said everything that's on their mind at that moment.
Some people actually, I forget the names. I feel like there's people actually that have kind of, they've built their fan base off of just being 100% transparent, I'm forgetting the names, but yeah, they're like about like politics and all that stuff. They'll just say what's on their mind. Just like,
well, see that was one of the things that like was preventing me from starting a podcast at first, because I don't think I have any views that are like morally wrong or like morally apprehensible.
Right.
But there's like debatable.
Yeah, well, the ones that you'll show to the audience,
But there's so many people online, right? So there's bound to be people that disagree with you, and then there's bound to be people that disagree with you like vehemently and think you're a bad person.
Oh yeah.
So I think I'm fine with people disagreeing with me, because like people disagree with each other, but I get scared of like the idea of me saying something that like most people would think is like pretty normal, but then somebody doesn't, and then they post it in a way that makes it look way worse, and then that's the only thing people see. And even if like you can like clear your name to a lot of people and like they see the actual clip and realize it wasn't as bad as the person posted it, like there's some people who will never see that, and then their first thought when they think of you is just that.
That's the most terrifying thing. Like the clipping thing on live streams is so like, it can be so fun, but also like so stressful because someone can just post like a part of your sentence that sounds so horrible, and they miss like the other part that makes it like, that totally forgets the context of it. And it sucks because if someone says something about you online, you can't tell every single person that saw that, like, guys, listen, hear me out. There's gonna be people that just don't see that, and there's like, and for me, there's been people. Sometimes I feel like I'm accidentally like a little bit too influenced by people that would have strong opinions online, where it's like, you see this video like, this YouTuber is exposed. I can't believe they said this live. And you see this video like, wow, that actually is like a horrible thing. And then like a year later, I go back to that person's content and then I'm like, okay. And then I kind of like look at that kind of drama situation and like realize, oh, wow, that was like nothing. That person did just like take that really out of context. Whoops. Yeah. My bad.
It's scary because like you'll have people that will just never find out like the real thing because they just don't really care that much to check, which is fine. Like you're not obligated to check everything to make sure, but I don't know. It's just scary in that sense, And another thing is, on top of that, kind of going back to when you're talking about comedy, people, especially if like you do edgy comedy, right? Sometimes you just want to try stuff out, and sometimes like in your head you might be thinking, okay, maybe this will be funny, like the shock factor. And then it's just the shock factor. No humor at all. Then, then people think you're a bad person when you were actually just trying something out. And that shit seems scary. I don't know how people do it.
When I was doing skits, like at the beginning of, the first couple of them, my parents actually, every single time I posted it, like, or I wanted to post a skit, they would like make me have them watch the entire thing to approve it, to make sure I should post it, because they were they were scared of that thing. And there was some, I mean, to be fair, there were some jokes where I'm like, that's, like, I mean, it was like my comedy, and I don't think it was like anything like controversial, but it was like, that's a little bit much. Yeah. This is a little bit like dark out of nowhere. There's I think the first skit I posted was like annoying things teachers do.
I remember that.
And
classic.
What a classic. And I remember there's like this one thing where it was like this joke about teachers like giving out like a bunch of assignments just like out of nowhere, which I remember most of that video was like about like one science teacher in high school. And I was like, it's so funny. Everyone that actually went to school with me in that class was like, it's about him, right? It's like, yeah, it's about him. But no, the joke was like, so thank you for, doing the lecture. For tonight's assignment, you're just going to have these pages and then read this book. And then here's this entire textbook. And also tonight when you go home, make sure to do, this exercise routine. And then take this baby to sacrifice for your newborn. And then they started getting like weird. I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe that was a little bit, it was a little bit much. But no, I don't know.
See, here's the thing, like, I find that shit funny, right?
Yeah,
but not everyone's going to find it funny.
And that's what's scary to me, because I think at the beginning when I was doing that, I was thinking, like, should I just do, like, kids content? Because if I just do, like, super PG, then at the very least I won't, theoretically I won't offend anyone, because it's so PG and it's so, like, there's no one that's going to be like, I don't. How dare you have this online? You know, people. You know, my kids watch this, right? You know, I found this on my kid's iPad, and this is rotting his brain. No, but I just. So there's a time where I was thinking, like, is kids content the way to go? Because at that point, you know,
really?
at the very least, you know, you're not, you know, if you're not saying anything like controversial, you're not pushing the envelope. At the very least, you know.
Do you think you would enjoy kids?
No,
content, though?
it's. I see people that do kids content, and I think there's a wholesomeness to it, and I think it's, you know, sometimes like it can still be good. There's I don't know if you know the channel that kind of, or the comedy group that kind of like went, you know, to a different direction. It was Studio C.
I remember them, yeah.
And they were essentially like family content, and they were super funny. Like they're good content. Like, and you know, that was like kind of, if anything, that would be like the goal, I feel like, for PG content. And I don't know. I just don't find much joy in it because I don't find myself being a very PG person.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely more worth it to just take the risk and do what you want to do, and like just hope in the end, assuming you're not a terrible person, that the people that like you will, you know, be like vouch for you, basically. You know,
I think if you're like, you know, if you're like honest and you're like, you still like a nice, like, you don't have to make like controversial content and like and still be a rude person. You know, if you're like a nice and honest person, you know, stick strong to what you believe, and you know, I don't know, I feel like there's people that I watch or like their content that, you know, they do, you know, have very strong opinions about controversial stuff, and you know, I don't know, as long as they're kind and caring, you know, not, you know, being, you know, rude to people, I still think they're, you know, good content creators. I think they're good people. I still respect them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's definitely tricky.